If you've ever worked for a business, a big corporation, for example, if there are topics you can't talk about, and there always are, there's always going to be somebody's pet project. There's always going to be something going on in a big corporation that you can't really talk honestly about because there's some political or whatever problem. Does that thing ever get fixed? Never. Never. If you can't talk about it, you can't fix it, period. That's it. Here's what else I like about the president's attacks on Elijah Cummings in Baltimore. And I'm going to say something that will sound simple, and watch how it just sinks in. So you're going to feel something in a moment, right? I'm going to say something, it'll just sound like a normal sentence. It'll just sit there, and then it's going to wash over you. You ready for this? When the president attacks Elijah Cummings in Baltimore, he is identifying a problem and talking about it. And here's the sentence that's going to change how you think about this. You can't fix what you can't talk about. And the Democrats are trying to make it hard to talk about a place that has a large black population with a leader who is a civil rights hero. It's hard to talk about it. The President of the United States promised us when he was running for election. He told us in direct language, I'm going to ignore political correctness. What's the biggest problem you're watching right in front of your eyes? The biggest problem that you're watching right in front of you play out is that the Democrats can't talk about the problem. They want that problem to be untalkaboutable. Not really a word, but let's say it is, because they need to protect the reputation of a hero. They want to make sure that nothing sounds racist or bigoted. They have restraints that this president does not have. He told you, I don't have that restraint. Now, we have seen that he's not, the Democrats want to paint him as crazy old guy who will say anything, and he can't be trusted because he'll just blurt things out. Well, he visited the Queen of England. There wasn't any blurting, was there? No blurting. He did that entire trip, with royalty, all these rules, which spoon do you use, how fast do you walk when you're with the Queen, do you bow, all this stuff. How did he navigate all that stuff? No problem. No problem. Do you know why? There wasn't anything he needed to say to the Queen of England that couldn't be said, through the regular structure of the rules and the way they were getting along. He didn't need to be politically incorrect. There was no point to be politically incorrect with the Queen. No point. But with Baltimore, is there a point to walk into the hornet's nest and say, I'm covered with hornets, and your frickin' city is a pile of trash? It's infested. It's full of rats. Hornets biting him. You're a racist. You're a racist. You can't say that about Elijah Cummings. You're racist. You're racist. And he stands there in the middle of the hornet's nest. Bite, 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 bite. And he still says, still, I feel it, still, Baltimore is a mess. And your leaders are failing you. Did that need to be said? Wow, it needed to be said. It really, really needed to be said. And when they called him a racist for saying it, what did he do? Double down. He doubled down. That's why you elected him. I say you because I didn't vote. For those of you who are new, it looks like we got some new people here. But I didn't vote for Trump because I don't vote. It allows me to be slightly less biased than I might otherwise be because I haven't joined a team per se. Trump is doing what he promised to do. He's taking the stings, and he's allowing people to talk about the thing that needs to get fixed for the first time. How much were we talking about Baltimore a year ago? Not at all. Now, it might be that the president's, the final straw, the thing that made him go off on Elijah Cummings had more to do with politics and the fact that Cummings was going after his family. But I'm pretty sure that should stop too. Do I have any problem that the president went after, one of the heroes of civil rights who was out of line? Nope. I don't care who gets out of line. Cummings is out of line. When he's coming after the president's family, just fishing for trouble. They don't even have some specific thing. They're just fishing for trouble. Is he doing a good job as an elected representative? No, not even close. He's not doing his job. You can hold two thoughts in your head at the same time. Elijah Cummings can be a hero of civil rights. He can be a great man in lots of ways. I hear good things about him. Mark Meadows likes him. That's good enough for me. So he's endorsed by people of all types. So that all can be true. But he's not doing his job at the moment. I'm sorry. Does that make anybody feel bad? He's not doing his job. He is failing his job. And because of who he is, his reputation, his position, it's hard for anybody to move against him, except one person. There's one person in the world who will walk into a hornet's nest and say, well, it looks like I'm going to be bitten by or stung by 1,000 hornets if I say this, and then he says it. And 1,000 hornets sting him. And then he says, you know what? I just got stung by 1,000 hornets. Watch this. And then he says it again. And then he says it again. And then we get used to it. And then we can talk about it. Because he keeps saying it, we're talking about it. We can't stop. And next thing you know, you're talking about the thing you couldn't talk about. And then, only then, can you fix it. If you've ever worked for a business, a big corporation, for example, if there are topics you can't talk about, and there always are, there's always going to be somebody's pet project. There's always going to be something going on in a big corporation that you can't really talk honestly about because there's some political or whatever problem. Does that thing ever get fixed? Never. If you can't talk about it, you can't fix it, period. That's it. There's no, unless something lucky happens, I suppose. The president is taking care of that.